They're not getting enough in their pass rush. They're not. They know this. They absolutely know this. Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Eagles make a splash by acquiring Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick in 2023. Again, you look at the deal, you want to make sure you always are looking at whether or not the player is still going to bring something to the table. I'm happy to agree with Xander here. This, again, guys, this is going to be more of a rotational signing or acquiring. This is more on rotational. They're not getting enough in their pass rush. They're not. They know this. They absolutely know this. That's why you're adding this to the mix. By the way, less reps for Robert Quinn might mean more production. You know, it's funny when people sometimes see a guy and you say situational pass rushing or you say situational on how you use someone. That doesn't necessarily mean the guy's not a top flight guy. That probably means he's 32. This is what you want to do in Arizona right now. You really want to play 75 plays for J.J. Watt? Or do you want to have J.J. Watt down the stretch run? And I'll say this to you. The teams right now that are sitting under 500 in the NFC, you're not out of anything now. The Eagles record, the Cowboy record, and the Giant record. There's 3 teams. And then everybody else, I say from 2 and 5 up, are still in it. It's wide open. Look at what the Buccaneers have on Thursday night. The Bucs have the Ravens. Do you really think the Bucs are beating the Ravens? I don't know. Bucs may go to 3 and 5 after Thursday night in the NFC. That's a great thing for the Eagles. I don't want to see Tom Brady in the postseason. Good. Do I think the Eagles are better than the Bucs? I do, but I don't want to see Brady. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers. If I had the least amount of resistance to get to a Super Bowl, who cares? Who cares? Okay? 8th in the league in sacks per game. Hey, Maniac, take that 9 sack total out against Washington. You're at the bottom of the league. There is right there. We're Maniac, 8th in the league in sacks. Where, get this, that stat don't mean shit. Or Howie wouldn't have made a move. Those 9 sacks have covered what has been a pedestrian pass rush. You're a pedestrian. I said because I knew that one game inflated it. Maniac. Gotcha, brother. Jack says Bucks and Packs are done. Jack, I think it's a little too soon to say that, but I'll tell you this, Jack. The next 3 weeks, you might be able to revisit that, okay? You might be able to revisit that. By the way, I think actually the Cowboys have a pretty nice little stretch coming up if you look at who they play over the next couple of weeks. They got a pretty good-looking stretch coming up. I think the Giants are in that mix. Cowboys are in that mix. I think they got a pretty good looking little stretch in there. Sills, I love you, but Debbie Downer on every move? Daz, I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm telling you what was worth it. But to sit here and do pom-poms when the guy's got 1 sack and you don't know how he's going to fit in with a D coordinator I don't think shit of. I'm sorry, man. You don't like it? That's tough shit. That's the way it is. It's how I look at it. Dana, you really calling this a splash? Yeah, because you know why? Howie didn't have to do it. Yeah, Xander's got a great one. Pom-poms are for Brian Burns. You pull that dude in, You got a whole different. How about this? You get Brian Burns, you're the best defense in the league. With Robert Quinn, you're still the second best defense to the Cowboys. Plus 12 in takeaways. That has got to be one of the most fool's gold stat of all time. Turnovers, bounce, tip, pass. How many times do you see teams leading the NFL in takeaways every year? You don't. Okay? When you're a solid defense, you're number one in the least amount of points scored, which they're great at. That's a stat I look at. I love the takeaway. There's not taking anything away from that. But to me, least amount of points, that's the most important statistic. That's what wins ball games. And you're keeping people under 20 points. You keep people under 20 points, you better win a boatload of games in the NFL. And that's what the Eagles are doing. Cowboys are doing that too, though. Why not Dillard for Burns? Man, Andre Dillard is a fine ball player. He ain't Brian Burns. Dude, teams have called Carolina and offered 2 number ones for him. Andre Dillard? I know you're trying to rob a bank there, but Carolina's not going to surrender that guy for Andre Dillard, who's a backup lineman in Philly. They're going to want assets in Carolina for the new coach that gets the job there. They need to get draft choices. And by the way, I don't think the 32nd pick is good enough for it. The Carolina's not going to take that. Kid's 24. He's averaged 9 sacks every year he's been in the league. Okay? This guy's kind of putting together a Robert Quinn kind of career. And he's 24, and you want to give him Andre Dillard. That ain't happening. Right. Joshua, Andre Dillard is a security blanket. He's a safety belt. He's not Jordan Mailata. You would have to get, you know who you would have to give up to get Brian Burns? Jordan Mailata. You want to do that? Hey, I'm sure Carolina would be very interested in listening to this. I'll take your 32nd pick in Jordan Mailata for and Burns. That's the kind of stuff you're going to have to trade to get that guy. Adam Schefter is reporting 2 number ones. 3 teams offered 2 ones for him. And you want to offer Andre Dillard. Dillard in the 32nd ain't good enough. That's not happening. Look at Leo. Quinn has a better pass rush win. He's 32 and he's got 1 sack. I know he's put together 102 sacks in his career. I get it. But the asking price for Brian Burns is 2 ones. For Robert Quinn, it was a 4th rounder. I don't really need to give you an opinion on that. All you have to do is look at what the trade value was. The Bears saw a 4th round pick for Robert Quinn. Carolina's being offered 2 ones for Burns. Andre Dillard. And the 32nd pick ain't cutting it. Ain't cutting it. That 4th pick to me, by the way, I don't think that's a shitty pick. I don't want you guys to think that. I don't think that's a shitty pick. I think that's a quality pick in there, and you can get starters at that spot. Okay? I'm not suggesting to you that's a poor pick. Sway says, who's your team? I don't have a team. I told you I root for fan bases. I really don't root for a team. Sway, I root for good football. I get asked that question all the time. Who's your team? I don't have one. I don't. When I was a kid, the Giants, maybe because my uncle played there. There was always some sort of tie-in for me. And, once I got older, the Giants weren't. I watched LT. I won't lie. I watched LT as a kid. And then when I got in the league, I watched him. Leo goes, odds Quinn gets a sack this Sunday. 50-50, dude. Dan loves the Eagles fan base. That's why he's here. Totally the truth, Brian. I love fan bases. I love passionate people, even when they give me shit. Who's your baseball team? Yankees. JM, always know this. If you're born right around New Haven, you're a Red Sox fan. South of New Haven, you're a Yankee fan. Oh, yeah, I forgot, too. The team that turns their hat inside out every October. Who's that? The Mets? Yeah, the Mets, man. That's you know who Met fans are. They turn their hat inside out every October. And they go back to being Yankee fans. Talk to me in October. Tell you what, man, I don't know about that Aaron Judge deal, man. I don't know if the Yankees are going to sign him like that. The Yankees are trash, of course. Throw it in that trash can with 27 titles. Oh, Mystic. Mystic's a great place. Mystic's a great place, bro. Mr. Regular Season. That's what Steinbrenner would be calling Aaron Judge. Remember what he used to call what did he call Hideki Arabu? The fat toad. Then he called Winfield, he called him Mr. May or Mr. April. Hey, what do you think of Dave Winfield? Who, Mr. May? Reference to Mr. October. Okay, hey, by the way, top of the hour. Big Sil's weekly quarterback power rankings. More on this deal here. How would you use Robert Quinn if you're Jonathan Gannon? That guy so needs to be fired. He so needs to be fired. He is so not creative enough. He's the worst coach on your coaching staff. He's the worst coach on your coaching staff. Josh Sweat benched? No, I don't think any of the guys are benched. I agree with Xander. This is more of a depth move. It's more of a depth move. Thank you, Sway. Thank you, Sports. Appreciate it. Quinn cap hit. From what I'm understanding, Wilkes, the majority of the money, according to our own John McMullen, from Birds 365 each and every single morning right here on JAKIB Sports. Most of the money is being paid by the Bears in this. Gannon will have Quinn at quarterback. Jonathan Gannon will get a head coaching job next year. Hey, no doubt, Dicker. There's no question. That guy's going to be he's going to be a hot asset. I actually think the offensive coordinator is better. Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen's 15-4 since he took over the play calling duties. Why wouldn't you have that guy, okay, as your top candidate off the Eagle staff? I mean, he designed this offense for Jalen. I'll tell you what. It's a great point. If you're the Eagles, what coordinator do you want to protect the most? Shane Steichen or Jonathan Gannon? Tell you this, man. If I'm going to give raises out, I'm giving Shane Steichen a raise. I'm not giving Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, you can go right ahead. I'll put Vic Fangio right in there. Have no problem making that transition. Okay? Two coaches I'm not ever letting go off that offense if I can stop it. I don't think Jeff Stoutland's in the market to look for a head coaching job. I think he's very content with what he does. Shane Steichen probably, on the other hand, wants to be a head football coach. But, boy, I'll tell you what the Buccaneers used to do? You can't contact our coordinators in any way whatsoever if they're under contract. The Glazer family would not allow that. You could not contact them. They were so protective of their assistant coaches. Because you got to remember, when Tony Dungy was in Tampa, what happened? Mike Tomlin, Herm Edwards, all those coaches off that Tony Dungy staff ended up getting head coaching. They started pilfering, even in the front office. They started getting guys in there. Jerry Angelo, they started taking the guy from Seattle, ended up going up to Seattle. All those guys they had in that building, the Glazers stopped that shit. Trade 64 for Smith. Trade third for Hunt. Hire Fangio. Bro, you are not getting the 64th pick. Oh, trade 64. Dude, again. Bears, what I'm hearing, Bears 1-2. I was a round off on Quinn. I heard a third. Okay? I heard a third. Dan Quinn's getting a head coaching job. Yeah, get his ass out of Dallas. Dillard for Hunt is not happening. Let's see. Dillard for Hunt. Yeah, okay. Dillard for Hunt and a fourth. Remember, Cleveland needs picks. They dumped a shitload of from the Houston to get Watson. They need draft assets. They're not looking for players. They're looking for draft picks next year. Leo, you're right. Why would you want to trade Andre Dillard when you're making a stretch run to go to the Super Bowl and you can have an injury at any time in your O-line and you got two guys that could potentially – Lane Johnson's in concussion protocol. And you want to trade Andre Dillard? Really? You want to trade Andre Dillard? I mean, I'm not trading any of them linemen right now. Here, let me tell you the people I'm not trading. I'm not trading Gardner Minshew. I'm not trading any linemen that I have in the O-line whatsoever. Those guys are my security blankets to potentially get to the Super Bowl. You see, these guys have gone through it before with injury issues that they had in 2017. All of a sudden, towards the end of the year, Mulata goes down. Johnson goes down. You're able to put Dillard in there. You're able to put the other kid in there that's been playing pretty decent. The Swiss Army knife. I'm not getting rid of any of them guys. Gardner Minshew, I need that guy in case something happens to Jalen, God forbid. He gets nicked up for a couple games like he did last year. I could slug this guy's ass in a minute. He could carry the mail for a week. Not getting rid of him either. Xander, the kid Jack, what's his name? Jack Driscoll, thank you. Thank you, Steven. Yeah, Jack Driscoll, man. Jack Driscoll, Andre Dillard are your security blankets. You're not getting, and the center kid. You're not getting rid of those three guys. Those three guys got you covered, man. These next 10 games, those guys are all going to play. They're all going to play, all three of them dudes. Why would I get rid of them? And get this, help another team potentially in the NFC catch me, maybe, and weaken myself. The one thing you don't want to do with in-season trades is weaken yourself. So, like, if Jalen gets hurt, Gardner Minshew, who's your backup? Ian Book? Is he still even on the team? Notre Dame flunky. Right? Ian Book? Dude, that's a disaster. Then you're panicking to make a move on a quarterback. Offensive line. Mulata goes down. Lane's concussion. Dude, I got Jack Driscoll and I got Andre Dillard. I can plug in anywhere. Move people around. If I have to move Dickerson around, I can. Not me. Cam Jurgens is the future. You got three dudes that are sitting there waiting in the wings that can help your football team and will help your football team. Bianca, right. Top of the show, we said that the Eagles were in contact with the Bears, and it happened during the show. Can't plug Dillard everywhere. No, but you could do Jack Driscoll. And you can move Landon Dickerson to tackle. Slide him out to Mulata spot if you had to. And by the way, Landon Dickerson is playing Pro Bowl ball. No, let me take that back. Landon Dickerson is playing all-pro football. He's playing all pro football. We needed that different juice. So do you like to trade for a fourth Sills? Chris, I love it. By the way, Jason Cole got caught up on a call. We're not taking any interviews today. We're talking to you guys. We got a boatload of shit to still get to. So we're going to run through this thing today here. I'd rather talk to you than to Jason Cole. No disrespect to anybody, but talking about the Dallas Cowboys or the Lions or the Packers or whomever doesn't make sense to me, right? You know what, man? Usually I wouldn't say this out loud. Look at Xander. Effing Cole started laughing. A typical Stanford guy. Absolutely. Sorry, I was on the call with my broker, and E.F. Hutton said, sell high, Howie, sell high. Brian, thank you, brother. Sell high, Dude, when I got to talk to a sports reporter that is working the market, he ain't my guy. I love Jason, man. Known him a long time. It's all good. Don't worry. And always know this. Big Sills don't need guests. Guests need Big Sills. How you doing? Joshua goes Sills, right? Eagles or bust. 85 says, Dan, maybe Roquan requests a trade to Philly to play with Quinn after being in tears. Hey, it's one thing to be in tears, my friend. It's another thing when a GM calls and goes, how much you asking for? Well, I want a second. Well, he can cry all he wants. Howie's not giving a 2-up, man. Well, I would. I think he's better than anything you got in Philly. Okay? I bet he's better than Kaiser. He's better than TJ. Dude, this kid Roquan Smith for a 2. How about this? You think you're going to find a Roquan Smith in next year's April draft? Okay, I don't. By the way, when's the last time you had a Roquan Smith on your team? When's the last time you had a linebacker of that talent on your football team that played linebacker like that? Fill the gap. Okay? When's the last time you had a guy like that? Jeremiah Trotter? Dude, this guy's like Trotter. Hey, Marcos, this guy's like Trotter. Might be better. Montgomery, I like that story too. I like that kid from Iowa State. I like him. Michael says that Roquan has been trying to get traded. Him crying isn't going to change the situation. Dude, crying never changes any situation, does it? I love her, man. Will you stay? No. Hey, dude, crying doesn't change shit. Dude, what you don't want to see is Roquan Smith end up in Dallas. Okay? That's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see his ass in Dallas. I love Robert. He's really a great guy. You're still in Chicago, guy. I know. That's why I'm really crying. Yeah. Why do you think Roquan Smith's crying? Because Robert Quinn left or because he's still in Chicago? I say it's because he's still in Chicago. Robert's gone. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, man. Yeah, because he's left alone in Chicago. I am until Monday? Okay. Why are you crying? Well, Robert Quinn's gone. Is that why you're crying? Kind of. Well, why else are you upset? Well, because I'm the only one left. Okay, Khalil Mack's gone. Robert Quinn's gone. I'm still here. Fuck. I'd be crying too. Holy cow. Hey, Leo, you nailed it. Yeah, why? Yeah. You're making $13 million bucks. I know. How's that direct deposit affecting you? I don't know. I haven't checked. I'm crying over Robert Quinn. I don't think so. Hey, crying when your direct deposit doesn't work, or like Big Sills when his Venmo doesn't. Oh, Xander! Xander! Oh, Matthew. Would make sense, Sills. Michael would get paid as a DE and then pay Roquan as LBs. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. I think Dallas is really, I think they're trying to make that deal. You should hear Big Sills crying. I like Robert Quinn on payday. Dan, would you rather have Hunt or Montgomery? Oh, Kareem Hunt all night. Matthew, a little bit of room for Kareem Hunt. They'd have to restructure some contracts and do some guarantees, but they could probably make that work. With incentives, he's around 5.5. And right now, I think the Eagles are around 3.5 right now under the cap. You could make that work. You'd have to restructure maybe Slay's deal. Maybe Mulata's deal. I don't know if you can restructure a Goddard again. I don't know. We need to trade for a running back in free agent market, Nick. I think you could draft one. I think you could draft a running back, keep him on a rookie contract, and I think you'll be okay. Hey, I could see the Patriots making a move for Brian Burns. But then again, man, they let Chandler Jones go a couple of years back, right? I mean, they let Chandler walk out the building. How do you let a guy like that? He's another 100-sack career guy. Hunt is a $6 million cap hit for 1 year. Marin, I think he's 5.5 with it, 1.3 base. And then incentives, I think it puts him at 5.7, 5.6, some shit like that. Brian goes, Big Sills, you like fat girls? Always remember this, and I'll tell you a little bit of dating tips here, Brian, since you're asking. If you always want to be fed and loved, marry a fat girl. If you want to marry a really hot chick, trust me when I tell you this, it'll be holy hell. You want to be loved and always fed? You marry a fat chick. Xander's young. Xander's young. He goes, fat chicks don't cut it for me. It's okay, Xander. When I'm 22, I got you, brother. It's all good, babe. Hey. Oh, good to be 22 again. Edge was a great move. Really was. Richie goes, hope Sileo's wife's not watching. She knows I'm dead anyway. Been married 33 years. What is she going to do? Peanut butter and jelly tonight? Been there. Hey, been there. Been there. Okay? I always tell my daughter this one too, just so you know and keep it score. By the way, we got a whole ton of stuff yet. Holy cow, I'm past the post here. I tell my daughter this, always love a guy who loves you more. You never get your heart broken. And so far, that's worked out for my little Didi. Don't ever fall in love with a dude. He'll break your heart. Make sure that dude loves you more. You'll be okay. Didi's taking that. She goes, Dad, that thing works like a charm. I go, Pop knows a little bit here. She goes, are you happy? I go, absolutely not. Let me take a time out. Hit the like button. Lot more to hit on, man. Keep it here on the National Football Show.